Good morning, afternoon, or evening to all who have come to my channel, the official Sacred Sensuality, where I am the Mademoiselle Sugar. All right, you guys, it is 3:50 this AM, and I've been doing some work, and I felt the need to do a reading for you guys really early. I want to jump right into it. Um, I feel like after a period of being in the dark about some things concerning someone or a situation, um, illusions, being uncertain, secrets, whether it's you or your person. You could take this how it resonates. This is a love reading. However, it can apply to any type of relationship. But after this period of coming out of confusion, you're going to be given clarity. You're going to be seeing things for what they really are. I feel that for many of you, a person's motives is just going to be much more clear. You do have the change card that came out, which I thought was pretty interesting. Some of you guys have been extremely resilient when it comes to love. I am feeling that some of you could, feel like I'm burned out. I kind of don't want to do this anymore, this whole love thing. And could be either attempting to or made up your mind of just focusing more on yourself, your own success, things in your daily life. You have the change card, which confirms that. And change is quite literally that, change. You went from the moon to the sun. Your energy, the Nine of Wands. But right after that, I do have the Strength card. Someone is getting ready to come forward again, and this has been repeating. It's been repeating. So I can't control the energy, you guys, but someone is getting the courage to come forward again. I'm also feeling for you, you are going to have the confidence again that you once had in love. You're going to have this confidence because now you see things. Now you know. And now someone is going to be coming forward with an Ace of Cups, which is an offer, offering their love, their feelings, their emotions. And I feel like for you, this is going to be a reawakening for some of you guys. You could have also retreated during a time of isolation or detachment, really, is what I'm feeling, or attempting to detach. And when you did that, you started focusing more on your spirituality, your own emotional needs. And I think that's why you ended up coming to a conclusion of, is this worth it? Is love even worth it? Is attempting to meet my person even worth it? And because you had made that change on a subconscious level of, I need to work on some things within myself, although you could have been teeter-tottering on the idea of maybe I should just leave love alone. And I say that because as I was shuffling the deck, the Two of Swords kept showing itself to me. And the Two of Swords is all about not being able to make a decision, being at a stalemate, basically. And even though it didn't come out, I feel like some of that energy you could have been dealing with. You could have been even just simply going back and forth with a person, not exactly sure, if you want to say something or come forward. But I feel like you just kind of, not necessarily giving up, but in the same sentence, just kind of giving up, you know, um, allowing things to just kind of unfold the way they should naturally. You guys have every night in this spread, besides the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, one, and I have the Knight of Swords. The only Knight I don't have is the Cups. Somebody is getting ready to make moves to come towards you. They know that they gaslighted you. They know they tried to emotionally distort your reality. They know they had you questioning yourself and questioning things and imagining if your connection was even real. And if they didn't know it when they were doing it, because sometimes people will do things without really knowing it, They did it because they have flighty energy. They thought that you would be temporary, even if this is a person that you dealt with in the past and you have been going in and out with this person, for example. They probably felt that, oh, because we've been going in and out for so long that if this is only going to be temporary, we'll stop talking and then we'll talk again in a year or two, or something like that. But I'm getting that the reason why even that occurred is because this person is unpredictable and their intentions were never made clear from the get-go. If you are seeing this person showing their ass in oh so many words, meaning, flirtatious on social media, acting as if, they've moved on, there's a lot of phony behavior, basically. They want to appear like they're unbothered. They want to appear like this separation is not bothering them, when in fact it does. It does so much so that they are wondering constantly in their head, when will I see you again? You both have been in a very strong, conflicted energy. And I feel that for them, this is a person who was probably so used to having so many choices, so many options, that they gave you hot and cold behavior. The hot and cold to me is coming off, and I don't know why I'm feeling this very strong, so I'm feeling that some of you could have thought this. The hot and cold is coming off as, I'm flirtatious with you 1 minute because you give me the attention that I desire. You are the real place where I want my emotions to land. But then there's this other person that comes in and texts me, and we start talking and they give me excitement. You provide stability. The other person provides excitement. Not saying that that's something that you lack, because I don't really feel that here. So this is a person who chased excitement. They chased the intensity. And if some of you have listened to my intimacy readings, my intimacy talks, it talks about, I said that several times. Intensity is not love. Obsession is not love. It can't be. Because a person is so focused on a feeling. It's not intimacy, right? So although you could have provided emotional intimacy, an emotional safe place, this person was exercising every single choice that they had. They were entertaining them all, even if they only spoke to the person once. Oh, let me see where this goes. Oh, he or she is sexy, they're pretty, they're whatever. Let me see where this goes. Spreading their energy and not having enough energy to come back to you and give you what you needed, which was that warmth, right? And so you detached. You detached. You had to go cold for your own survival. And I feel like you just kind of came to terms with that. This is a person, although you want them, you want to be with them, that they're not, it's not working out, you know? And because of that, your detachment for however long period that you guys did detach, um, they plan on stepping forward and negotiating with you. This was a person who had emotional poverty. They lived out of emotional poverty. They were not used to being settled with a person. And I think this came out in one of my readings the other day where I was talking about something of that nature. And a person could have been single for so long that, it's almost like, now that I'm thinking about it, being single for so long can cause you to lose some social skills. And I know that from experience, right? So this is a person who was operating out of emotional poverty. They didn't exactly know how to reciprocate. They're aware of that now. And I feel that you could have came to terms with that, which is why the moon and the sun came out, because you were probably questioning yourself, like, is this real? Feeling like you were under some type of illusion, but you've come out of it now. For your energy, the way they're seeing you as the Queen of Pentacles, that stable energy. You provide a comfort to this person. You have your own thing going in life. You could be a person that's, kind of close to nature. Um, I don't know why I'm getting this, but like kind of like a tree hugger. I'm a tree hugger, right? Um, you're a sensible person, practical, someone that fits into their world, quite literally, because I have the world card next to it. Someone that fits into the world that they want, but they've been too scared to get. They know that they cannot come back to you in the same energy that they were before. So they've decided to close out that old cycle. And I'm feeling that it's not complete all the way yet, because right next to that is the Knight of Wands. When they come forward, and he's been showing up a lot, the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands. It's like when they come out of this energy, they're excited. They are impulsive. This is a person who wants what they want. They just charge for it to to get it as best as they can. Probably using even dirty tactics to win. But I don't necessarily pick up on dirty tactics. I pick up on them having both that fire and that passion still for you, because the Knight of Pentacles is next to it, and the Knight of Pentacles stabilizes that energy. So they know, it's like they're coming to terms with saying, I know it's okay for me to have this passion and this love for this person, but at the same time, I've got to come back showing up reliable, that I'm competent, that I'm patient, and I'm practical. And that's what's stabilizing this Knight of Wands energy. They also see you as the Queen of Wands. Very sensual, sexual, attractive. You could have, high self-esteem of yourself, even if you never portrayed it sometimes. You still do have a pretty healthy self-esteem balance of yourself. Just very confident in yourself. Seeing you as a person that is passionate as well. And when I combine that Queen of Pentacles and that Queen of Wands energy, it reminds me of a person who they balance themselves as well. And it's funny that I have the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. That's funny. I just noticed that. But you know that this was a person that was immature, but I feel like with this energy that's combined, this Queen of Pentacles and this Queen of Wands, as passionate and loving as you are, and attractive and confident, and can sweep a room off his feet, you're still very nurturing. You're still very grounded. You're still very reliable. And that's something that this person is attracted to, because it's almost as if they never really got these two out of a person. And so they don't, I think it's great that they don't look at you as a person who is overly emotional, although you do have emotions, because the Queen of Pentacles, she's very nurturing. And the Queen of Wands, she has that fiery emotion to her, right? And then you have the Queen of Swords, who's missing from here as well. So they're not seeing you as somebody who is overly protective of self, an overthinker. They could see you as, especially with the Queen of Wands being a sensible card, they could see you as a person who, um, while you do have emotions, and while you do have a nurturing quality to you, you're not a person who needs to overthink it. Like they could be overthinking things. This person is wanting to come in with the Justice card. And I feel too that the universe, ancestors, spirit guides, to me, when it comes to tarot, when I look at the Justice card, it comes back as all those who are on your spirit team. They had court. They had a spiritual court. That's what it comes out to me as. And they removed you. They said, hey, you're not going to do my baby like that. You're not going to do, my person like this. So they could have urged you to move. And this person, they know it. They know it. They know they were unfair. They know they didn't have the equal give and take like they were supposed to with you. And so because they know that, they plan to come in to offer you that happiness that you deserve, that harmony, that emotional stability. They know that you deserve it. Not necessarily saying that you worked for it. You just flat out deserve it. You were sweet and patient and reliable and calm and passionate all in one. And this person also sees the fact that you could be like, I feel like they are feeling like you're almost like, I don't want to forget you, with the Fool card, which is why they're coming in with such passionate energy. I don't want you to forget me. I don't want this to end like this. I do indeed want something with you. I feel like I'm missing something. There it is. But the reason why you were removed from this person's energy is because you both needed a recharge. You both needed this. You both needed an emotional reset. And that is because if it is up to you, of course, if you want to take this person back, that if you do come back together, you come back stronger. And I feel that for you, you're going to come back with firm boundaries, but not so firm to where they don't feel safe, but firm enough boundaries to where they're very mature. You know, you fuck up one more time, I'm not going to, I'm not going to give you another chance, for instance. That's the kind of energy I myself operate out of. If someone comes back to me and they want another chance, those are typically my words. And I absolutely mean that. That if you want another chance with me, now you're on the stage. You're on the stage. I am going to be watching you. And I know nobody is perfect. But if you fuck up and you put me in this position to where you have to make me love you from a distance, I will absolutely do that. And I feel like some of you could have adopted that too. Um, which is why you were teeter-tottering. You know, you didn't want to go full blown. I don't want love anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And it's looking pretty healthy. This also is a person who could have been a runner, always escaping, always escaping. Oh, Lord knows I can't stand a runner. Just be an adult and talk to me, right? And if they've been watching you, which I strongly get, um, I say that because when I get that feeling, I quite literally feel like there's a spirit looking over my shoulder. They are obsessed with you. They think about you all the time. They stalk your social media. They want to know what you're doing, who you're with, why you're doing it. So if you're kind of an enigma like myself, I don't disclose what I'm really doing in particular. First of all, that's nobody's business, right? That's nobody's business. But when you operate in that type of energy, you unintentionally make people obsessed with you. In particular, people who want to come back and they know they've done you wrong and they know they were supposed to treat you right in the first damn place. But you unintentionally trigger that obsessive, possessive side of them. And once again, this is a person who is sorry for not contacting you, for sorry for not stepping forward sooner, because you trigger them. You trigger them. You make them think of, and I don't think they realize this. And I've been talking about this a lot too on my X account and my Instagram, how there's people have inner child wounds, especially men. Women, the feminines, we are a little bit more aware, not all the time, but we are a little bit more aware of inner child wounds. But typically men aren't. They don't want to they don't want to label their mom or their parents as the bad person. And that's understandable. Nobody really does. And I feel like you could have triggered this person to realize that, hey, maybe I didn't have such a great childhood. you know, maybe that girl who broke my heart in fifth grade, even though she technically didn't break his heart, because how can a child break another child's heart when they're not that aware? Um, Maybe that's a wound I'm still carrying. But I'm feeling that for some of them, it's a parental wound. It's a parental wound. When we see our parents are our first models of what love should look like, right? I want to use myself as an example. My father and my mom, they didn't really get along, at least when I was around. They didn't really get along. And I immediately noticed that as I became older. I'm just like, oh, okay, these two people, they don't like each other. How did I get here, right? But then I had a stepfather who my mother absolutely adored, and I absolutely adored her. And because I was in my mother's home 90% of the time as a child, I saw romance. I saw affection. I saw love. I saw them choosing each other all over again. I saw them never arguing in front of my siblings and myself. They went in their room and they closed that door, right? And eventually I forgot that because my mother passed away when I was young. And so I grew up in a different home with my aunt and my uncle. And so now I see two people who are constantly fighting, although they're married, look very Christianly on the surface, right? So I've forgotten what had happened before. And so I carried that that trauma, that continuous yelling and them running away from each other, one person leaving the house, the argument not resolved, the constant tension. I expected that in my relationships, and that actually made me dismissive, avoidant, in addition to other things. It made me both dismissive and fearful. Because although I wanted the good part, I felt that I didn't deserve it. And I feel like this is something that this person has gone through. Like it's like I'm getting for some, it's so funny how I channel things before I actually pick up the cards. So let's say this person has a mother, and the mother, she did the best that she could. Very loving, very sweet, at least on the surface, meaning she got them clothes, she got them shoes, she took care of them, got their hair cut, but she was not affectionate, right? She could have that old school dogma. Boys don't need hugs all the time. Boys should be strong. Boys don't cry. And why? That's because it was passed down to her. So this is something that this person could have been carrying and not really noticing that, yeah, my mom is a good person. She cooked, she cleaned, she made sure we were fed and looked healthy and took care of us. But my God, when did she hug me? Was I able to express myself freely? Was I able to cry? And if and when I did cry, did she hurry up and rush and say to me, "Boys don't cry"? That's kind of what I'm getting. Like this person is finally realizing that, well, there were some things that was a little bit, fucked up in my past, as in my childhood. And because of that, they attracted so many toxic people. They probably had a very skewed view of the feminine or the masculine, right? You caught them to go into to activate their higher self, is what I see. You caught them to activate it. Like this person, it went from trigger to activation. And I think that's a beautiful transition because triggers, excuse me, there's something that set you off sometimes negatively sometimes. But then when you have activation, that is saying there is this power that is inside of me and I am going to access it. I'm going back to remember who I was before things were so messed up. Even if, that last time was 3 years old, right? The soul has memory. And because you did that, now this person is coming out with a confession, with a confessions card here. They want to come clean. Like I feel heavy. Like I feel like they've been carrying this for a while. They've been carrying these feelings, this love, this emotion for you. And it's like I can't take it anymore. Which is funny because while you were in the dark, unsure if this person really liked you or had feeling for you, they were keeping it so hidden from you. My God, what kind of torment this person could have put themselves through. And then you have the Knight of Swords right next to it, which is coming in once again with that impatient energy. They do plan to be as honest as possible, direct. They're motivated to get you back. This is what their next move is going to be. There you went from trigger to activation, making them confess because they're obsessed with you. They're tired of running. You have recharged. They have recharged. And then we got the chariot. They plan to move forward with determination, having success with you. Then the Six of Pentacles, which is about being generous with their time, their energy, their whatever they have to give to put towards building something with you. Being supportive, I feel for some of you is very, very important. Being fair. And I love that this came out with the Justice card in this spread too, because it's saying, I know I was not fair. And Spirit snatched my ass up and told me and shook me and said, you know, you've got this great person and this child of mine, this child of God. I told you, like my ancestral deck says, touch not mine anointed. And that's what they did. So now they're like, I can't. Not only do I want this person, but what I did was wrong. And I have to go back and reciprocate. I have to go back and do this better. They've been waiting for a long time to do this. For some of you months, for some of you years, for some of them weeks. That's because they didn't have the direction. They didn't know exactly what to do. And they're willing to sacrifice all those bad habits. Mind you, I don't think it's going to happen overnight. Now, some people do mature quicker than others. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I do believe it's going to be something that's going to need to be taken into practice. So you are going to have to watch for consistency with the Hanged Man here. In that time of waiting, they developed different perspectives. I love the Hanged Man because when he's hanging upside down, he can see things from different angles, right? They see their triggers. They see how you activated them. They see how their obsession is pretty unhealthy. When I don't have to be obsessed, I can genuinely be in the feeling of loving and wanting this person, right? They see how they kept running over and over and over again. And now they want to come back and have that love that they desire with you, have that structure that they desire with you, because that's something I feel that many of you do provide. Reaffirming their beliefs in love in addition to your belief in love. So they're coming back with this King of Wands, passionate, fiery energy, stepping into their power as a leader. We always talk about how we want the masculines step in and lead. And I don't think if you're masculine listening to this, I don't think you guys understand what your leadership does to a connection. Your leadership, you stepping into your leadership role is basically saying, this is the tone that I am setting. A woman, a feminine, will multiply what you give her. So if you give her confusion, guess what? When it's all said and done, or when you've been acting a fool and now you don't know what you want to do, you're going to get confusion times however many times you've delivered that to her. Because eventually she's going to say, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of being confused. I'm tired of not having a clarity. And that's what this feminine has done in this case. She stepped away. She had to recharge. She was removed. Her spirit team moved her. But I feel that because you, going back to my collective, because you don't necessarily, you could have really strong traditional beliefs, because that's what the Hierophant is about. I feel that you want a little bit of that because it does provide a little bit of structure, right? I am the type of person where when it comes to marriage, I have a mixture of both traditional and modern beliefs, right? I do not believe that my husband is just strictly running the household. That's absurd to me. We're partners. We both are running the household. He may be better at doing something that I'm not doing, right? Because he knows how to cut the grass. I wouldn't know how to turn a damn thing on, right? So he's a leader in that, right? He may not know how to do laundry, right? So, for instance, I use baking soda on my laundry. I use whitener on my laundry. You know, when I do spiritual stuff, I'll use a little bit of ammonia, things like that. And he may be like, what the heck is that? I didn't know I was supposed to do that. You know, if he comes home, if I know he's been out and he's been around all these people all day, oh, let me spiritually cleanse these clothes for you because I don't want you bringing those spirits in my home, right? So I'm a leader in that, in that perspective. So I feel like you could have a mixture of those beliefs. And because you do, you have that structure while still being open. They could also have the same type of structure to them as well. You know, you do have to move with the times. And if this is a masculine who is, from what I'm seeing here, he's pretty fucking smart. He's pretty smart. Especially stepping into this King of Wands energy, because this is a person. The King of Wands has big visions, and that's what this person sees with you. You're a part of that vision. You're a part of that vision. You have woven yourself into his vision, and you had no clue. You had no clue. And so now that they've been without you, it's like, oh no. You're a part of the program, baby. You are a part of the program. So let me tell you how I really feel. They are getting rid of their choices and decisions. They're getting rid of it. And they are going to take up, you are the ultimate opportunity with the Seven of Cups here. They're giving up the fantasies, all those illusions. You may question when this person comes in, but I believe that the way they are going to be moving, although it could be, this has been coming out too, with a little bit of clumsy energy. I find it kind of cute. A little bit of clumsy energy. So you may be like, am I confused? Are they still confused? Is this real? Because you could have been going through it for so much amount of time with this person. And the indecision had to break. It had to be gone. I do have the community card. The community is just that community. Going back to your spirit team, your community, removing you from that space, keeping them away. And they could have a spirit team that said, no, 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 this is not what you're going to do anymore. It's time to grow up. It's time to make the moves an adult makes, to make the decisions that an adult makes. It's time to get out of this energy because this is the energy that has been keeping you unhappy. And we're glad he or she is here because they have activated that part of you that you need to understand you've been sabotaging yourself in. But yeah, they're removing all of those and they're going to take up the opportunity to make it better with you. And I'm also getting, in addition to that, with the Seven of Cups, providing you additional opportunities with them. That could be them giving you access to their feelings, giving you access to their fears, their future with you, their future in general, just with their own personal goals. Like, if I was to combine this together, this is telling me that this is a person who was trying to develop, they're going to try to develop intimacy with you by using those choices, because intimacy is it's a plethora of things. They want this intimacy with you. Intimacy does have something to do with emotions. The Seven of Cups is emotions. So now giving you access to this part of them, this is going to be new for both of you. And I see good things coming out of this. Like, this person has their moves, like I said, be it all as clumsy as it could be, they're coming in genuinely. They're coming in because it's time to reciprocate. They don't want to lose you. Um, and they want you. They want to give you that structure that you've been giving them. So it's up to you guys where you want to take it next. And that is your reading, you guys. I do wish you all the best of luck. Please have a good morning, afternoon, or a good evening whenever this reading reaches you. And I will see you guys again later. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and comment down below if you'd like. I love to hear from you. Bye-bye.